Hey guys, it's Brandon. Twitter prospecting. So how do you use Twitter to prospect? And better yet, how do you use Twitter to actually turn a cold lead into a hot lead? Great question. And that's what we're going to answer in this video right now. Most of you probably have watched the strategy videos, so you have a lot of this preliminary tactics already set up, ready to go as far as audience, who you're going after, the value that you're going to add to that person, and then also the form of communication you're going to take them to after this. So on Twitter, we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to show you two really effective ways to use it. There's a bunch of different ways, and there's probably like 5 really different ways you can use Twitter to do this. I'm going to show you the 2 easiest ones right off the bat that are really effective, and then we have some courses that are available on the website that you can take. The Marketing Crash course that'll definitely have a lot of this in more detail, and so you can definitely sign up for that and get all that detail from there. All right, let's jump right into it. When we go into Twitter here, we're going to look at our we're going to sign into our home page. We're going to have all this information. If we're looking, so one of the 2 ways, if we're looking for someone and we already know their name, so we know who they are and who we're going after specifically, we would type their name up here in the search box. So we would start typing George Zamron. In this case, I know George and his name, I'm already following him. And if you don't, then what you're going to see is that you're going to see a list of people come up. And so for instance, like this, George, we're going to see a lot of people show up. We're going to click on search for all at the bottom. If the person's face doesn't pop up right away, then you want to search at that bottom. If you see them as you start typing their name in, then just click on their profile and it'll take you directly to their profile. So we would search through here. We want to find the person we're looking for. Since I already know who I'm looking for, it's George Zamron. I'm going to click on George, and we're going to be taken to his profile. We're going to look through his profile here, and we're going to make sure it's him. We want to see the picture. We want to make sure the description fits who we're looking for. The website should be similar from what we've already found. And then we want to take a look at his feed. And so here, from a prospecting standpoint, what we're looking for is for something here to start a conversation, to start an engagement. And for instance, the Kevin Hart's coming to the UC. This could be a great circumstance to jump in and say, hey, I'm a big Kevin Hart fan too, blah, blah, blah. Start a conversation. Also could be, here he has one on a new style of flooring. I could jump in and ask him some questions about the flooring, what it's all about, and then take it from there. And as we talked about in the strategy part, we want to start by engagement. And as soon as we start with an engagement, we eventually want to lead them towards something else. So if we're adding value, we want to start the conversation, then eventually get them to the point where we are going to take them to a phone call, do some sort of networking aspect, take them to an event or invite them to an event. We need to do something else and add some value to them right away. And that'll be part of the conversation, but start it off with an engagement, question, statement, whatever the case may be. Start it off there, and on Twitter, that is really the best way to go about it, and won't be any different. So it's just a matter of how you find the person is really what the difference is on Twitter. How the approach is always going to be the same. Start a conversation, engage with them, find something that you can maybe share some commonality with, or you have some questions on, and then drive them to that second form of communication and add that value to their life, networking, referrals, whatever the case may be. So, all right. So that's how you find someone directly. If you don't know someone directly, there are 2 different ways. One, we would type in, let's say we're looking for people who are small business owners. We could type in small business owners up here, and we can search. We would hit the search box, and what we'll see is a number of different results that pop up. Now, what we want to notice here is that on the left-hand side, all right, so what I just did here before I get ahead of myself too much is there's a top and then there's an all. And all will give you the most recent. The top will just give you the most interactive, whatever they consider in their algorithm to be the top post based on that result. So we put in all, and we'll see the top the top links that are popping up here and tweets. But what we see on the left-hand side, we right now have everything. And if we're looking for people, then we're going to click on the people section here. And typically what you're going to find a lot of times is that when you search for something, you're going to see a lot of the media or very large influencers are going to be the first ones that pop up here as you search. You might look through here and say, hey, you know what, I don't really see anyone, or there's a lot of influencers that are really not who I'm looking for, because I'm looking for individuals, or I'm looking for brands and not large brands, smaller brands. So you have to gauge that. And if that's the case, what I would suggest you doing is one of two things. Either, actually there's three possibilities. You can go to the advanced search section and try to narrow it down. Or the other possibility is that you can jump into like some of these media outlets or some of these larger players, like a New York Times small business section, and we can actually go look at their followers. And here is where we can gauge, because we know that these people are interested in a very similar topic that we are, and there's going to be a lot of people in here, and 277,000 to be exact. So we have plenty of people to look through, find, start conversations with. It's a great way to approach. You can also do this with competitors, partners too. If you partner with a certain company and they have a pretty decent following on Twitter, that's another way you can start to engage with people who are working, who are the similar audience too. Because if you have a partner, they're typically going after a similar audience or similar customer that you have, and so that's a perfect way to find people that you don't know about. Another great way of doing this is using keywords. So not necessarily positions, but keywords that your clients might use. So for instance, if you're an agent, an insurance agent, let's say a property and casualty insurance agent, you could type in car insurance here. And if I could spell it correctly, so we could put in car insurance. And what we'll see is we're going to see a long list of people, and this is actually a really good word and an example, because a lot of people post stuff about their car insurance in here for whatever reason. So you can go through here and you can find people who are, maybe have questions or made statements, and you could start conversations with them. Same approach again. No, nothing different than how, if you knew somebody, you just started off, and the difference is that they're a complete stranger. You'll see some things like this, car rental insurance tips, which was obviously in a blog that a lot of people had an RSS feed set up because it's going through here quite a bit. If you see that, then maybe you want to come back to that later on. However, you just can continue to search down here. What you can also do for these type of terms to help narrow it down, especially if you target a local or a certain demographic. So if we go back to our audience, we talk about who we're looking to target, the locations come into play here. And this one, if we're looking for our local area, me being in Chicago, I would hit near you on the left-hand side bar here. And here I would start to see people who are talking about car insurance who are local, who are around the Chicagoland area. If you are looking for people outside of your local area, you would just do the same. You would go to advanced search here on the left-hand bar. You would still type in car insurance up here, and you would go down to places, and you would click on here, and then you would type in the place that you're looking for. So like Boston, New York, Spain, wherever you're looking for, that's where you would type that in, and you would get all the results for that keyword or key term and that area that would pop up. And there you have it. So go through. There's a lot more to this. This isn't. There's a lot of different ways. There's specific approaches. There are tools that you can use for this, so you can get very advanced. But this is really a quick way. I didn't want to spend a whole hour talking about this, which I could and probably longer. But this will give you a great way of just starting off, testing your foot, or testing the waters a bit. And if you have any questions as you're going along here, maybe on how to be more effective or how to use tools or whatever the case may be, leave a comment in the box below. All right, leave a question, answer or ask a question, and leave it in the comment box below. I'd love to answer them for you, and I'll make sure I will definitely answer them for you as well. So do that, test this out, and then don't forget, subscribe to the channel and go to the next media outlet. So go to either the Google Plus one or the LinkedIn one, check that out. Or if you want to, go back to the strategy, get a refresher on what we're talking about here, and then come back to the other ones. But definitely check out the other social channels and let me know if you have any questions. All right, guys, on to the next one. Peace.